You do. You do look like you're sitting out in your field. Hey, everybody. Well, there is Janine. Let's add Janine to the mix.
Hey, hi. It said I was sitting backstage.
Yes, long time no see.
I know. It's good to see your beautiful faces.
It's the green room.
Yes.
Oh,
Did they have plenty of snacks in the green room for you?
yeah, no. No
I'll get on
snacks.
to them. Well, hey, we just got live, so we were just getting ready to welcome everybody, do some introductions, and then we'll get started. But everybody, this is Shelly. I am the co-creator of this group with Leanne. I don't know how that's going to play out, but Leanne, my sidekick. And so a couple of things. If you click on, there's a link there that says, use my name, click on this. That way you'll show up as something other than Facebook user, and we can call you by name, which would be awesome. If you are here live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, give us a hashtag replay. But before we get started on our topic, I want to give a huge shout out to Leanne for such a great week of games. It's been so much fun. So much fun.
I'm glad that you said that because I've had a blast, even though sometimes I was getting up at, I couldn't sleep this morning. So I get up at 5 o'clock and I start planning out the game. So is that mom giving, are y'all getting feedback?
Yeah. I don't know who it is. If it's Janine, could you put in earbuds? Do you have earbuds you can put in? Sometimes that helps. I don't know.
I can run and get them.
Okay.
And now I think I just unplugged mine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can still hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some sort of weird thing going on. Maybe it'll clear up. Wait, how do I make it so you can see?
Hold on. Let me if you can hear me now. Does it still sound bad?
Yeah, I don't know that it's you.
Well, see,
okay. Facebook user.
Technical difficulties.
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Hello, Facebook user.
Wait, how do I make it so you can see my name? Okay, so what you do on up there in this live, it should say, before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com/Facebook. Click on that link, super simple, and it will automatically get your name. So.
My earbuds are a mess.
Oh, sorry, Janine. I don't even know if that's going to help, but it says before you come on, wear earbuds, and that will help with the echo.
Feedback. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, the games, we were talking about the games. They've been a lot of fun. I always enjoyed playing games growing up. And we've had great participation. So ladies, thank you so much for all that you've been doing. We're not done. I'll tell you what, starting on Sunday instead of Monday, it's been good for my week, but boy, it has thrown me off. I have been a day ahead all week long. But it's been a ton of fun. I hope everybody enjoys their prizes. We'll get those sent out when the games are over. And I'll be honest, I can't remember if we're done on Friday or Saturday. But I had told Missy when she won the salad shaker back at the beginning of the week, I said, I'm not going to send it yet because you might win again. And sure enough, she won today. So yeah.
I forgot Missy won the salad shaker. Missy is a friend. I love Missy. She's a great friend of mine. She is the same age as I am. Well, that's not true. She's a day older than I am. Her birthday is July 6th. Mine's July 7th. So I've always teased her about me being the youngest of the two of us. So Missy's a great gal. I've known her for a long time. She was a private investigator. So that was true. That was true. And I love the game because I was allowed to name drop a famous person, which I just can't do every day in conversation. Oh, by the way, I got fired by Doug Pitt.
Exactly. So did my friend saying that she's cousins with Victoria Principal. And I said, well, first of all, I hope this crowd knows Victoria Principal. But and it's funny because I was getting on to her about, I don't think I knew that. But now that I got to thinking about it, I think she did say something about that years ago. But Janine, if you haven't, have you seen the game that we played today, the Truth or Dare? So
No.
you need to go check it out. It's amazing, because what the challenge was is to either tell some strange truth about yourself or something that you've done that's really daring, and to put in pictures. And of course I couldn't pick which one was the best or anything, so I just did a random drawing. But the stories that they have put up they're all really varied, and they're so good. We got some amazing women in our group, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Yeah,
it was
it's been a lot of fun. So so thank you, Leanne, for doing that. Leanne's the fun one of the group. Not that Janine and I aren't fun. We're fun. But she's a different kind of fun. Okay, on to the topic. You're a special kind of fun, Leanne, is what you are. Okay, enough about us. Let's get started with this topic. Once again, if you're on, come on and say hi. Click the link in the post up there and let us see your name, because apparently Facebook user was Katie. Hi, Katie. Glad you are here. So first of all, I want to thank Janine for bringing us together. Janine is the mentor of our little team here, and we just think she is awesome. She has so much experience in this field. But what we wanted to talk about is just share some stories with you. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, we've really been in the group doing a lot of lives and telling our story. So, and I think that's just super important. But we want to just talk about this being, this way to create something better in your life. And Janine, did you want to start, or did you want one of us to start, or since you're the expert guru of the bunch?
So we're just talking about, would it help to tell my story?
Yeah.
Because I was certainly someone that never in a million years thought that I would be in this kind of business. And, what's really funny about that is that I was actually I was in a phase of my life where I was really looking for exactly what this was, but I didn't recognize it. And I think that happens to so many people, because we get so focused on what we think our next step is going to be. And the only thing that we can base that on is what our past has been. And my past had been working in corporate America. And, all I had ever done was really have a job. And my husband has always been an entrepreneur. And he always, he wanted me to be able to be an entrepreneur, and kind of just said, go do it. And, it's really a challenge to all of a sudden become an entrepreneur if you've been an employee your whole life, because it's really a different animal. So when I lost my job, I had been in corporate America for 30 years, but the job that I had when I lost it, I had been doing for 10 years. And I absolutely loved it. And my whole identity was wrapped in my job. I remember bringing my Rolodex, for those who can remember a Rolodex, home. And, you've got all these contacts, and in business development, the contacts that's your livelihood. And, when you're in that kind of a situation, you know what clothes to put on, everything that you do is this identity of what you've done in a job. And so I was just looking for another job. And then my daughter is the one that discovered network marketing after graduating from college. And she was somebody who just craved freedom and did not fit into that corporate 9-to-5 box. And when she found network marketing, she thought it was the most brilliant thing ever, because she could make as much money as she wanted to make, and she could do it on her own schedule. And, she just thought it was perfect. And when she told me about it, she said, Mom, I know you've never heard of network marketing, or you would have told me about it, because it's exactly what I'm looking for. She was so naive that when she first got started, she would kind of describe to her friends, and they'd say, is this Amway? And she said, I guess it must be, because everybody keeps asking me that. So she didn't even know what that meant, you know? But so when she came home and told me about it, I explained to her that I had had an experience, 30 plus years ago. And it was the old bait and switch where people used to be taught to lie and say whatever they needed to say to get somebody to come and listen to a business opportunity presentation. And I was so turned off to that I swore that I would, over my dead body, would I ever be involved in anything like this. And, so I get all the people that have had some kind of experience. I get it. It's real. And, you can't just ignore it and act like it didn't happen. But what I didn't realize is that I was basing my whole opinion of network marketing on that experience and on, the way some people handled it. And so, when I finally did my due diligence and looked a little closer, I realized that the business model makes a whole lot of sense. In fact, it makes a lot more sense than the things that society thinks make sense. But it's just perception. It's just, we tend to define it by the couple of experiences we've had. And it's really sad because, most people are just not even open enough to take in more information. I was that person. And so for a whole year, we argued. And when I discovered that I was wrong, I felt so bad because I thought I was right,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well,
so
go ahead, Janine.
No, go ahead.
Well, I didn't have any preconceived notions about it at all. I joined a company and I loved the products. And so I was just telling all my friends, I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got to try this. You've got to try this. This is the best thing in the world. And I'm sure they thought I was crazy because I was just like, I don't know. I just thought, well, this is just how you do it. And then I was approached by Janine, who I have to say, I think you may have been on my I don't remember how we first met. I think maybe you were on my podcast or anyway.
The podcast, yeah. Even I remember that.
Yeah.
So you had invited for the podcast.
I don't remember how Janine and I met.
Yeah.
Right. So Janine and I met, and then I appropriately stalked her on social media and was just so thrilled and delighted to have a friend who was so well put together and so lovely and so smart and talented. And then, she asked me to join her team. And of course, I did. And I'm super glad that I did. But, so since I didn't have any preconceived notions about it at all, I think one of the things for me that I really love about it is this right here. It's just being with Leanne, being with Janine. Katie is on our team. She's watching. Just being able to grow with other women that I really, truly like. I love these gals. So being able to be a part of this with them, and also it's really, and I know that you gals are probably going to agree with me on this, but it's such a personal development journey as well. It's like this personal journey that I have never, ever got in a regular job, ever. And I also, besides that, which is extremely important to me, I think it's probably the most important thing, is being with a group of women who I admire and who are, the same trajectory I'm on. But I'm just ready to do something different where my passion is helping women, in particular women over 50, redesign their life and getting out of a corporate job if you're not happy there, looking at a way to do what you want to do with us fabulous women. That is really has become my passion with this. So.
Yeah.
I would say that one of my very favorite things about this business is that you get to pick the people you work with. That is such a blessing. I mean, when you think about jobs that you've had and people that you've worked with, then usually there's good ones and not so good ones. And a lot of times the frustrations you have at a job are the people that are around you. Sometimes it may be a boss that you don't respect or whatever. And I mean, there's just, and all the office politics and all of those things. And it's so refreshing to be able to choose the people that you work with, to be able to do life with them. Instead of working and living for weekends and living for a vacation so that you can then go be with the people that you really love, you get to be with those people every single day. I mean, I think for me, when I was working with my daughter, that was the greatest blessing of all. I mean, to not have to leave, every day and see them just whenever our schedules would permit, to be able to, we met at a Starbucks and did our business, in a Starbucks every day. It was just such a blessing.
Well, and another really cool thing too is you could do, the business how you want. I mean, Janine's got a structure where she mentors us, but like Leanne and I love doing Facebook. We love doing this. Is this how you want to do your business? Maybe not. Maybe, you just have an old-fashioned rotary phone and you just want to call people all the time. So that's one of the great things too, is that there's just so many different ways that you can approach doing this business if you want. So
I want to throw this caveat out there too, so that everybody understands that this may not be for you, and that's totally okay. But what we don't want to do is, for those people who are on the fence or those who have never even considered something like this, we want to tell you that, yeah, this is one of the best things that's ever happened. But the group is going to go on. We're going to still be doing fun things. We're going to give you some personal development stuff. What we're not going to do is we're not going to come and give you a big hard pressure thing. We're not going to be, sending you these fake messages and stuff. When I sent you a message to invite you to this tonight, because I really like you and I wanted you to be here with us. And we love everybody in here. So please, this is a no pressure situation. Now, with that being said, why would you not do this? Okay. It's a no-brainer. I was a stay-at-home mom for 24 years and always wanted to have my own money, always wanted to have my own financial freedom, always wanted something better. Looked at my husband one night and I was like, yeah, I think I can do better. I took out. So then I was in corporate America, and I looked around after 5 years of that. Well, going into that, I kept thinking,
you do not seem the corporate type to me at all.
No. And that's the thing. They kept saying, oh, you're going to be so good at this. You're going to be so good. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't think so. So, I stayed and I earned some trips and I did my little thing. But yeah, it didn't fit right. And so I looked around, said, nope, I can do better, and came home and started delving into another business. That's where Shelly and I met up. That was over a year ago, actually. And we had a great time together. But, things happened. And so we went and kept pursuing different things, or I did. She stuck with what she was doing. And so I started narrating audiobooks, and that's what I've been doing for a year. And most recently, I was recording 6 hours of dad jokes. Not only dad jokes, but Thanksgiving-themed dad jokes.
Those are the worst.
All I kept thinking, ladies, was, I'm better than this. I am better than 6 hours of dad jokes, for heaven's sake. So thankfully, Shelly had already come into my life, and she came back around and she said, hey, I think I want to do business with you. And I was like, yes, where do I sign? What am I signing up for? I don't care. Where's the dotted line? Are we going to be selling sex toys in people's houses? What are we going to do? I don't care. I want to sign up. And I really felt like that. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, I knew Shelly already. I knew and trusted her from way back. We'd already done business together. I'd already been thinking, I really missed her. We had a good thing going. That's number one. Number two, I do know that I am a leader of some type, and that I've always felt compelled that that's one of my gifts. I just got to find a tribe to lead. So, when I first got on Instagram, I was talking to my daughter, and I was like, Emily, I've got all these followers and I don't know where to take them. And she's like, okay, Mom, calm down. So what do I do with this? So this is just, it's one of my passions. And then here's the third thing. I get to be creative. I have it for my personality, for all my scopes. I have to be creative. And I found out that which is kind of what happened in my corporate job, wasn't given that freedom for that creativity to take place. And when it's not running, I am not running on full energy.
Yeah.
But with this, I get to be creative. I get to have a good time. I'm always going to have a good time regardless. But I get to make it fun. And this is what I want to, my passion for this is to show women that business and running your own business is supposed to be fun. We spend so much time stressed. Okay, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work hard. It's like, okay, I got that. But is there fun involved? Heck yeah. We're going to have fun. And Katie, I saw your message. I'm trying to think of one of the dad jokes. Honey, they were so freaking many. I tried to block them out. I did 2 hours of knock jokes. Have you ever tried talking to yourself? Try to tell yourself one knock joke, much less 2 hours worth. Okay, it was terrible. Anything that has to do with a turkey, how many keys, what keys do this, a turkey. It's like, okay, I got it. Stop. But anyway, this is exciting. And seriously, it's when you think about all the things that you complain about with your job, women our age are getting ready to retire. And Janine, I listened to your I didn't mean to kind of, take over here, but Janine, listening to your podcast with the nurse yesterday, and it was fantastic. So both of these ladies, these talented ladies that I work with, have podcasts, and they are both so great. I'll let them tell you about them. But she interviewed this nurse who had been a nurse for 45 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she got into network marketing afterwards. And, because she liked the extra income, of course, plus she had time on her hand now and wanted to still be productive. And that's what's happening with you're reaching retirement age and go, well, I don't really want to sit around and watch Netflix all the time. This is something that's exciting and different and new. And there you go. That's my spiel.
Yeah, speaking of, I listened, and I think I posted in this group, Janine's interview with Dr. Danielle Daniels. And I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say this, but she, her epiphany came when she used up all of her vacation time in March or something and was not going to be able to go on vacation. But what really, really got me about that interview was she is a doctorate. She works with kids, with teens, and has a foundation that is the mission. I don't know the mission of it, but it's with trafficking children, kids. She's able to continue her field of psychology, and she married it with network marketing, and so now she started this foundation, which I think I was just like, oh, that is, to me, that is the coolest thing ever. And I just was so inspired by that episode. It's down here in the group somewhere. Please look that up, because if you think that, this is just network marketing, I'm just going to sell makeup or shakes or whatever, you're wrong. You're completely wrong, because there's just so many endeavors, and Dr. Danielle Daniels really, really proved that to me with that interview. It was so good, so good.
Well, I love Danielle's and I love Judy's so much for so many reasons. One of the things Judy said was when she first retired, she was tired, but then she got tired of being retired. So And it's true, you know, she wanted more to do. But to circle back to something else that you said, Leanne, that I wanted to touch upon is that, because I love what you're saying, that, you know, you, both of you bring yourselves into this business, and that's what we get to do. And the kind of challenge is that not everyone does the business the same way. And so a lot of times we're looking at people that are doing the business and they become pushy, or they're all over social media, and they're driving you crazy. And, you know, I think it's because one of the things that happens in this business is that you kind of are taught a way to do the business. And the challenge with that is that the way that one person does it may not be authentic to someone that they sponsor. And so a lot of times in network marketing, what happens is that you just get this hammered into you that you know, you got to be on social media, you've got to send these messages, and we've all had these cheesy canned messages that are, yeah, that are so impersonal, and that you see sales, you know, from 100 miles away, and it's because they are being taught to do that. And the challenge is it's not authentic to them. And so that's, I think, what the challenge with our business is that there are so many people that kind of catch a glimpse of this opportunity. So they start following somebody that's telling them to do something that isn't them. And it leaves a bad impression. It's a bad representation of what doing this business looks like. So it's really important. I love that you guys exemplify that, you know, even doing this group and doing your games, and, you know, you get to bring who you are into this, and you get to do your version of this business. And that's the way it should be done. I mean, that's just super cool. But it's not done that way that often. So I just wanted to bring it back, because I think that's why a lot of people have a negative opinion, is because they're just seeing people that are doing this in ways that are not authentic to them.
Exactly. I was saying that today. I was looking at something and thought, you know, I wish this was more the norm, you know, having a good time, having fun with each other, being yourself, and sharing the opportunity. Because, like I said, why would you not do this? This checks off all the boxes. Okay, unlimited income. It's up to you how much you want to make. But the freedom, the time freedom is unreal. The people that we get to hang out with, you know, and then just laugh and cut up and have a good time. So, but yeah, just being your authentic self. And I want this to be the norm. You know, I want people to go, what are they doing over there? They're having so much fun. Why are they so happy? What's going on? So yeah, that's what we do. That's
well, and I could never be you, Leanne. I could never be Shelly. I could not be the person who orchestrated this kind of group. I could not be in charge of games. I could not do any of those things. My approach to the business is much more, you know, I had 30 years in corporate America. My approach to the business is, you know, kind of more professional, just more the way that I had done it. But what I love is that we all get to be in the same business, but it can look different. And that's really, really important, is if you, you know, if we're as sponsors are doing our job, we're able to give you the parameters, but let you do it the way that you want to do it. It reminds me of going to a smorgasbord to eat. You know, we're all going to go there for dinner, but we're going to pick different food to eat. We're going to pick the things that we like. So our plates are going to end up looking completely different because we're all going to pick different things. So that's how this business can look, even though I think a lot of people have not seen that demonstrated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So Janine, you've been in this the longest, and Shelly, you've been in another company as well. What are the objections that you hear most often that people say?
I think the sad thing is that a lot of times I don't hear the objections. I just kind of get the look, or you don't get the person, you get the person that doesn't call you back, or I think that a lot of the objections are. I would love to have a discussion like this and have somebody bring the objections. Like, what is it that you think? And just get real. I mean, just get really real. What is it that is, that's keeping you from being interested in this? And then you can have a real conversation. Then you can talk about, one of the things that was my objection is that I really did think it was a pyramid. First of all, I thought it was cheesy because I thought you had to go to hotels and it was like this whole hype thing. And I thought it was a numbers game and that you have to just be talking to every single person that's breathing and invite them into your business. And I thought it was a pyramid because I thought the person that sponsored my daughter was trying to talk to me because she was going to make all this money from my effort and she wasn't going to do anything because she got in before I did. So I thought the timing of when you got in was what it was all about. If somebody got in, when the company was new, they were going to make a lot of money. The people that got in later weren't. I mean, I had all these things jumbled up in my mind that were my misconceptions. And when I really was able to walk through each one of them, address each issue, I realized that I was completely wrong. My perception was not accurate. I mean, one of the things that was so refreshing to me was to learn that, everybody starts in the same place and has the same opportunity, so different than. Think about corporate America or any kind of a job. You are hired according to your skills. You go to work for an agreed upon salary. It doesn't matter if you're the best person in the office. You're not going to make more money than the person that, has a higher position than you do. And this model is set up in such a fair way. If I get into it and I do more with it and I want to get more out of it and I am more efficient and effective, then I can go right around the person that sponsored me. The person that sponsored me is not necessarily going to make more money than I do.
Right.
And I love that. I mean, it's fair. It is when people really take the time to be walked through what network marketing is and what it is not. People are really surprised because it really is the most fair structure that is out there, but it's just these misconceptions. So I think it'd be so cool to have a session that is just like bring on every single thing that you've ever thought. And what have you got to lose? I mean, the thing is, nobody can drag you into this. If you don't get excited about it, nothing's going to happen. You either get excited and you take the ball and run with it, or you don't. And if you don't, and the other thing is, the people that are play a numbers game with this business, I go to work for you. If I sponsor you, I'm going to be at your beck and call. I'm here to mentor you.
And she is. Let me tell you, she is. She is.
So why would I want to invite 100 people to do that with? I mean, I believe that there is a different way to approach this business, and it's more about quality versus quantity. And it isn't just a numbers game and you throw a bunch of things up against the wall and see what sticks. It's choosing the people that you want to be on this journey with, that you really would love to invest in and mentor, and that you believe have the ability to be successful, and concentrate on that and focus on that, rather than having a bunch of people that are going to take up your time. I mean, you really are successful in this business to the degree that you are able to help someone else be successful. That's a beautiful model. I mean, it really is. And there's so many things about this business that are that way that you just need to understand.
I like the idea of doing an objections. I'm all for that. I don't really hear anything like it's a pyramid scheme or something like that. I think what I hear and is, I'll paraphrase here, is that they don't have the time to focus on it because they've already got this. So it's really not an either or. I don't like to couch this as a side gig. Nobody wants extra stuff to do during the day, right? Who wants another part-time job? I don't. So I don't really think it's an either or. But like I said before, they can take what they're doing now. If you listen to that podcast with Dr. Daniels and then marry it with their passion and their profession, I mean, she started this foundation and she's still doing the work she loves, but it's intertwined with her network marketing. So I think I get a lot of either or objections, if that makes any sense. Like, I can't do this because of this. So.
But I loved it when Judy the nurse, when she said that the similarities, were there, that she got to show, compassion and help people in both cases. But when she was at the hospital for 45 years, she would help them and give them some medicine and then send them on the way, and she would never see them again, never have contact with them. Where now she got to not only help make their lives better and help them improve, but then got to help them and watch them grow and stay buddies with them. And I can only imagine being in that situation. I'm sure that you grow closer or bond with some of those people, some of your patients. But you can't bond too much because they're going to be up and gone, which is the goal, right? You want them to get better. But it was beautiful the way that she had said, you just take the skills that you have and apply them. And that was what I felt like I was doing with this. But that's why I jumped on it when Shelly said, do you want to do this? I was like, yes, because I knew, even though I didn't know a whole lot about it, I knew that I had a skill set that I could apply to what I'm already doing. And that is party planning. So there you go. That's what.
Yeah. See, so here's a party planner, and I've spent how many years asking people for money because my job's in fund development. So that's really my skill. I'm the asker, and Leanne's the fun person.
Yes,
so.
Yes, I'm the fun parent. So yeah.
Well, do you guys have anything else that you want to say? I really would like to invite you, anyone listening, to reach out to either me or Leanne, and we can have a conversation. Janine is a perfect person to talk to. She's been in it. She's super successful in the business, and just has a wealth of wisdom and can answer all your questions if you want to have a conversation. And like Janine says, what do you have to lose? It's a conversation.
Here's one more thing I want to throw in, probably something that Janine wanted to say. First of all, if you've ever done network marketing before and you have a bad taste in your mouth, this is the perfect time to talk about it. This is the perfect time. Let us have a conversation with you. Okay. Again, it's not going to be pushy. We just want to show you that, hey, this can be different for you. If you've never even considered it, because I really hadn't, if you've never even considered it, this is the perfect time. Okay. This is your time to have the conversation. And again, if you say no, okay, but at least have the information so that you know what you're saying no to. And if you say, hey, not right now, we're good with that, but at least have the conversation. What would it hurt? Nothing.
I am so glad you said that about if you've done network marketing before, because I think there's so many people out there that feel like they're in that category. And what I respond to that is that most of the time their experience was a friend of theirs got into something and said, come on, let's do this. And so they get in and they it's the blind leading the blind. There's nobody really teaching them what they need to be doing. And they they never really treat it like a real business because they don't know how. Nobody's there to show them how. I think that's why it's my passion to really walk people through this and help them understand why you would even want to have a network marketing business. Because if your expectations are not set up to be realistic and you're comparing this to having had a job, you're going to be disappointed. I mean, first of all, you know, we're used to trading time for money. We're used to working for 8 hours and getting paid for 8 hours. So sometimes when people get into this and they, you know, they work or they commit to it and they're there for a couple of months and they don't see the money coming in, they're feeling like, you know, this just doesn't work. And it's really a matter, again, of respecting what you have in your hands. And respecting that it's different. Just think of the analogy of going to a gym to work out. If your expectations were that you were going to join the gym and you were going to go for a week and you were going to walk out and look, you know, exactly. Then you would be really disappointed. And that sounds silly because it's something that we're familiar with. But network marketing is the same thing. You're working, you're laying, it's like when you see a big sky rise being built and you don't immediately see them just starting, you know, with building the big sky rise. They're digging a hole in the ground. They're putting in all the infrastructure. There's a lot that happens before you really see anything. So and sometimes people are spinning their wheels. Sometimes people are just, you know, they're not doing the right things. So it really is important to, I think it's really important to have someone to mentor you, to have someone that's going to help you be successful, to have someone that's going to help set up the right expectations for you going into it, and know that all network marketing companies are not created equally. There's a good fit for everyone. And there's great companies, but just like we all have on different clothes. We all wear different, drive different cars, wear different, or live in different houses. We don't, you know, what is a right fit for me may not be the right fit for Leanne. Fortunately, we're all different and this was the right fit for us. But there's lots of choices. And we've written 2 books. The Flip Flop CEO is to really dispel the myths about network marketing. But Does the Shoe Fit is really written to bridge that gap between traditional jobs and network marketing and to help people understand the differences because they're very different. And that, I lost my train of thought and what I was going to say about that. But
it was good. It was really good. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm mesmerized by it.
It's really important to make sure. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I had someone read that book and came back to me and said this was a girl that kept saying she tried network marketing. It wasn't for her. And so I asked her to read the introduction to the book. And she came back to me and said, oh my gosh, I totally get now why I didn't succeed. She said, my husband found out about this business. He took me to this meeting and, you know, we kind of signed up and we got into it and we did it for a couple months. She said, I was never passionate about anything there. You know, there's different cultures. There's some more male-dominated companies, more female-dominated companies. And it isn't just about the products. I mean, there's just so many components in the whole decision that you should consider. And so you may have been with a company that wasn't the right fit. Maybe it was a company that was more direct sales oriented. There's a difference between, a lot of times people see someone being kind of the makeup lady and having parties and doing that kind of thing. And maybe that's not congruent for you. So just know that there are lots of options. And, you know, if the thought of, I mean, for people that are, you know, over 50, the thing that I love about this business is it's kind of like a sweat equity retirement plan. If you didn't do all the things you should have done to have all that extra money to supplement your retirement so that you can do all the fun things that you want to do, this is a way to create ongoing income. And that's what I love about it. I started in this business 17 years ago, and I am still being paid a thank you check for people that I introduced to this business 17 years ago, to the products. And when I left my job that I had worked at for 10 years, when I left, that was it. My paycheck stopped, everything stopped. I had nothing to show for it. So this is building something that is ongoing. And for women, I talked to somebody in the financial services area last week, and she was saying that she deals with a lot of women going through a divorce that have not worked for years, and maybe they're going to get alimony for 5 years, but they need to really figure out, what they're going to do after that. And this can be a great option for that situation. So for anyone that, like you said, Leanne, wants to have their own money, doesn't want, I think what happens a lot of times, I see this when we get into this retirement phase, there's a limited amount of money. And so you and your husband or you and your partner have to start agreeing on where those dollars are going to go. And if you want to, buy a new pair of shoes or have your eyelashes done or, whatever it is that you want to do, there's going to be a debate about where that money goes. So for people that want to have their own money and want to expand their budget instead of shrinking their dreams to fit their budget, this can be an amazing option. And I would just really love to have the opportunity to have people completely understand it before they walk away from it and not judge it based on whatever experience they've had before or whoever they've seen it doing it poorly. Just know that you're going to bring yourself into it and you're going to have mentors. And so just really make sure you're making an informed decision about whether or not it might be a good fit for you.
There you go.
Well said. Yeah, well said. I don't know that I could top it, except to say, oh my gosh, it's 10 till already. We've been on for almost an hour. I could just talk about this all night. But we do, like I said before, want to invite you to reach out to either me or Leanne. And if you're interested, or if you have questions, or if you have an objection, we'll be happy to have a conversation with you. Basically, that's what it would be a conversation, and see what this is about. See if it's for you. See if you'd like to work with us on our team. And Katie, can't forget about Katie, as well. So I invite you just to reach out and let's have a conversation.
Yes, cool. Thank you, Janine, for being with us. And
She's awesome.
Stay tuned for more games.
I got to check those out. You guys are so fun.
You too. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great rest of your evening.
Bye.
Bye.